So you put in, let's say we want to go from Los Angeles to New York. So you set in your first airport there, LAX. You simply choose it, and then you choose the gate or runway you want to take off from. So yeah, runway 25 right is chosen, but if I want to park at the gate, simply choose a gate. For example, this one, and your arrival airport. There you go. So you'd put in JFK, John F. Kennedy Airport, and you'd have your flight pretty much set up. This is now just a direct route from New York to JFK, but from Los Angeles to JFK. But we don't want to do just a straight flight. We want it to be more realistic, so we have to open up the EFB, electronic flight bag. So you open that up, and now you can actually start setting up a real flight. So whatever you set up here earlier should show up on your EFB here. As you can see, we have Los Angeles and JFK in the EFB. So for this type of flight, you'd want it to be an IFR flight, so you'd go ahead and change that. And we have a VFR pattern here for departure and a VFR pattern for arrival, which we do not want for the flight. So what I do is I go on onlineflightplanner.org. I'll put the link, somewhere on the screen here, so you guys have the website pretty much. But yeah, it's called onlineflightplanner.org, and it's a great little tool to use for flying. So you just put in exactly what you put in. We'd say we want to go from LA to JFK, and you create a plan on onlineflightplanner.org, and that'll help you for your procedures here. So for your procedure, you have all these departures. There's a standard instrument departures that you'd want to fly, but you don't know which one. Look how many there are in Los Angeles. There's a whole slew of departures, and which one do we want? We could cycle through each and every one and guess which one we want, but that's not ideal. So what I do, just go ahead and go to LA to your departure airport here. You gotta scroll through a little bit. It's annoying, but let's scroll through. And for example, if you don't know which departure you want, well, let's just guess Kylo. Let's see what that departure looks like. Okay, so it looks like you're departing and you're heading out to the west, so that's not good. We want to head east to New York. So I don't know, let's try this one. That one's also going west, so not a good one. So you can see you could just go trial and error and try to figure it out, but instead you go to onlineflightplanner.org and they do the work for you. So they tell you, actually sometimes they don't tell you exactly which star to take, but they'll tell you which transition to take. So now I actually do have to cycle through every single one and see which one makes sense. Kylo, LAX1, those are usually just regular departures. Let me find, okay, see, this one is good. So what I have on onlineflightplanner.org, I'll take a screenshot and I'll put it up on the screen for you guys right now. So I'll show you what it says on onlineflightplanner.org. So now the picture should be up, and it says my first waypoint here it says Sid to Beale. So I chose this Orca 5 departure, and look at that, Beale is right there. So I choose Beale as my waypoint, and see, that makes sense now. We're heading east towards New York. That's what we want. And then we'll just go ahead and press change procedure. All right, so we do the same thing for the arrival in New York. So we want at arrival here, because right now there's just nothing chosen. And we'd go at arrival, and now if I put in the picture that I put before, it says Lima Victor Zulu LVZ star to JFK. So cool, we don't have that many stars here at JFK, so we'll find one that has the LVZ transition, if there is one. There might not be. Okay, so they look like they're all direct. What about this one? Okay, yeah, so there's no LVZ star, so if you don't see the one that you have, you just choose one that makes sense. So for example, this one, this one's coming from the west, so it makes sense. We'll choose it and change the procedure. And we also want to change the approach procedure, because we don't want a VFR pattern For our arrival, you know, we want an ILS landing usually if we're trying to fly with some airliners, and we press change procedure, and that's perfect. Now this dog wants to come up on the couch. Alright, and finally, once we've done all that here, we've done LA, we chose our departure, we went JFK, we chose our approach and everything. We'll go ahead and press find route, and that'll give us our waypoints in between. Might take a little while to show up. See, now I just clicked it and it's still taking a little moment here to calculate. Sometimes it might take a long time if you have a long flight, and if you have quite a short flight, you might not even get any waypoints. You might have just crashed. Okay, no, we're good. So it took a little longer than I thought here, but there we go. Our waypoints did come up. And now if you want to see if your waypoints make sense, you go back to the route page, and yeah, that makes sense. Sometimes the game messes up and it'll give you a waypoint all the way up here in northern Canada, and it doesn't make sense. So we are good with this. So we'll go back to my page here, the front page. Another thing, cruising altitude. You know, we want a realistic altitude, so you know, put something like 35,000 feet here, or flight level 350. And if ever you want to delete a waypoint, I think you can. Yeah, right here you can remove waypoint or add something before, add something after. If any waypoint, like I said, doesn't make sense, you can go ahead and delete it right there. But for now, it looks like a good flight plan. So we're not done yet. We do have to send it to the plane's avionics and send it with ATC. So now we've made our flight plan, but we actually have to file it with ATC. So simply file it here with ATC, and then you also send it to the avionics. That's going to send it to the plane. Now this doesn't always work. If you're flying the 320, the send route to avionics doesn't work. If you're flying the 737 or 747, it does work. I don't know if they fixed it yet. By the time you watch this video, if they have, then good, but if not, unfortunately you have to set all this up in your FMC once you're in the plane. But yeah, that's for another more advanced video. But we pretty much got this whole flight set up now, and all we have to do is start the flight and get flying, guys. And you could actually see now the waypoints have shown up here on the page. So we got all our waypoints, and we probably have our arrivals here. If we zoom in, yeah, we have all our waypoints into our arrival and landing. So that's how we set up flights. So